If you clicked on this video, you've most likely played The Isle, Path of Titans, Beasts of Bermuda, or one of those Roblox games, I guess. Either way, you've probably played a dinosaur survival game of some size, shape, or quality. In my many years of gaming, I've played at least a solid majority of these games, and have come to appreciate and scorn each in their own right. I think it'd be rather difficult to come across an Isle player who doesn't have a problem with the game. Hell, the entire YouTube scene of this game is based around the hatred, disappointment, or reluctant amusement that players have to show for their experiences. Of course, people love these games, or else they wouldn't care if they made bad updates, poor decisions, or no decisions at all. Despite the obvious concerns for the state of this rather niche genre, its support is unending and incredibly loyal considering the lack of attention it receives in mainstream media. Over the course of some disheveled and procrastinated videos, I will attempt to create a better dinosaur survival game. So where do we begin? To me, this answer is quite obvious: the roster. Although it may not be the core of any game, it is certainly the source of its literal existence. There is no money to be made from a rosterless dinosaur game. It is essentially the advertisement. It gathers dinosaur nerds from near and far to see if their favorite dinosaur is going to be in the next big game. So it has to be awesome, and that's why they usually suck. The priority is awesomeness, and never functionality. By attempting to draw in as many people as possible, many games end up with a bloated, unoriginal, and impossible to balance list of our favorite dead reptiles.
Master Skywalker, there are too many of them. What are we going to do?
With all of this in mind, I tried to create a much better dinosaur game roster, with 0 flaws. Obviously that's not going to happen, but using the mistakes of the past, I gave it my best shot. Here we go. So to start off, we need a grand total that we're aiming for, a modest yet breathable size that we can fit a large variety of niches and species into. I believe a good number would be, let's say, 18 species overall. We can further divide this into 3 pterosaurs, 7 carnivores, 2 omnivores, and 6 herbivores. This may be a small number of critters, but trust me, it'll be a hell of a lot easier to balance and flesh out each species as a memorable, complex, and distinct playable. First, let's dive into the pterosaurs. I wanted a wide range of sizes, niches, and abilities for all of these species, which was hard to do, seeing as I was limited to just a few newly discovered fossil sites. You may be wondering, why would I do this? Well, I wanted my entire roster to stem from early Cretaceous China. Nothing more, spare a few minor time periods and disputable location differences. I did this because nature is balanced. Everything that exists together does so because each animal fills a specific role not taken by another. Although this principle isn't cut and dry, it's a good platform to work off of. So anyways, back to our pterosaurs. From left to right we have Gehalopterus, Liaoningopterus, and Sungaripterus. Gehalopterus has a 3-foot wingspan, sluggish movement speed, and amazing stamina. To counter this slow speed, Gehalopterus can land on larger animals and drink their blood. That's right, it's a prehistoric vampire bat. Isn't that metal? Next, we have Liaoningopterus. With its massive 15-foot wingspan and incredibly long name, it's the token fish eater in our dinosaur game. It's quick, but not very agile. It cannot attack anything unless it is planted on the ground. If you're a pesky drive-by pecker, this game is not for you. This pterosaur can skim the water similarly to the Isle. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. This animal also has a great sense of smell and can locate carcasses from miles away if fish aren't satiating its large appetite. Lastly, we have the Sungaripterus. With a 9-foot wingspan, this strange pterosaur has the unique ability to dig up clams from silty riverbeds. It's faster than its larger relative, and has slightly more stamina and ground speed. Nice, pterosaurs complete. Next up, we have the carnivores. This is the largest group in the tier list alongside herbivores, and the reason for that is simple: people like to play them. In order to have a variety of species on each game server, there needs to be an adequate number of species to choose from, relative to the amount of players playing them. Since pterosaurs are more niche, less variety is required to achieve similar population sizes of each species. The smallest carnivore on our list is Dilong. This simple predator relies on its incredible speed and agility to make short work of the smaller inhabitants of this prehistoric world, mainly in forested regions. It can pounce on larger targets to inflict bleed and slow down its prey using the small amount of weight it possesses. Next is Zhenyanlong. This is our token dromaeosaur, at a modest 7 feet in length. It is much bulkier, and therefore less agile than the Dilong, but with higher top speeds and strength. This feisty critter can grab onto its prey like a pack of wolves and subdue a lone victim in a rather short amount of time. Zhongguanlong is our resident Tyrannosaur, at around 16 feet in length. This high-speed sprinter relies on its powerful legs to catch smaller or weaker prey items. It has a decent bite strength, but very little health to protect itself from the bulkier animals in the game. Our only semi-aquatic carnivore is Siamosaurus. This spinosaurid reaches lengths of 20 feet and primarily hunts for fish along the snaking rivers that it resides in. This animal can also lurk beneath the surface and catch unsuspecting prey at the water's edge and drag it into the murky depths below. Wonderful. Next we have Sinotyrannus. Its massive size is slightly misleading, as it lacks a powerful bite and strong defenses. However, it makes up for this with incredible bursts of speed and an ability to pin its prey to the ground and rip it into scrumptious shreds. Damn, this got dark quick. Last but not least, we have Datanglong. This Carnivore is the undisputed king of the carnivores. Its slow speed only allows it to catch the largest prey items. However, not all hope is lost for its very, suspecting victims. It has the unique ability to rip chunks of meat off of a very alive prey item and leave it in relative peace and discomfort. That's all the carnivores. Before we get to our last category, we have 2 omnivores to delve into. Similacodipteryx is a speedy 4-foot-long theropod that can munch on pretty much anything. It will gladly eat up plant matter, carcasses, and any tiny AI that it comes across. We'll get to all of those in a later video. To combat its fragility, this species can huddle with other members of its species to heal or gain stamina and remove negative effects and diseases, which we will also get to in another video. Bonychus is also a speedy critter, belonging to the strange Alvarezsauridae. It has a rather similar playstyle, but has a much larger capacity for hunting and killing to supplement its varied diet. It is a bit slower and less agile than Similacodipteryx, but has much greater stamina. Finally, we have the herbivores. This group was honestly quite difficult to compile. Finding herbivores that have high survivability and playability was a decent challenge, especially with the limited fossil remains found at the desired formations. In the end, I found that although the roster is small, just about every major niche is filled, and every playable will bring joy and excitement to whoever plays it. First we have the beloved 6-foot taco, Psittacosaurus. Along with its basic calls, this little guy has a special alert call, which signals danger to all of its herd members. It's agile and quick on its feet, but quickly runs out of energy and has little in the way of defense, other than its strong beak and tough skull, which can break the bones of smaller smug predators. It can also create tiny burrows to rear young and protect itself from the dangerous predators above, or at least those that can't sneak in. Next is Alxosaurus. This 13-foot semi-aquatic Therizinosaur can deal massive bleed damage to offset its relatively low health and small size. It flourishes in water environments where it can slip beneath the surface to forage on aquatic vegetation. Chonkelong is a 15-foot ankylosaur with nearly impenetrable skin protected by tough osteoderms. This animal is rather slow-moving, but has a lot of stamina and a hunger ability, which allows it to dig into the ground to prevent its softer side from being attacked, while also damaging any attacker that tries to bite into its armor. Weyerhaeusaurus is a lightly armored stegosaurid, which possesses unusually small plates with the same thagomizers that make these animals so famous. The species has decent speed and stamina, along with high damaging attacks at the cost of relatively low health. Next is Byaneurosaurus. This massive iguanodontid is very similar to its more well-known relative. At 30 feet long, this animal can go toe-to-toe with the top predators in the game, and can often come out on top with sheer strength and weight. It's rather slow, and can only run at high speeds for a short period of time, relying on its spiked thumb claw to defend itself. Dongbei Titan is by far the largest animal in the game. At 50 feet long, it towers over every other animal it comes across. Despite being the slowest animal in the game, Dongbei Titan can still run for a rather long period of time. It doesn't exactly need to run, however, as its massive body is impervious to most attacks, and its large tail and heavy legs can fend off any real threats. Well, it looks like we did it. Of course, let me know if you think my roster is complete garbage or needs some tweaks. This is purely speculative fun, and in no way represents a final product or future project of some kind. I mean, you never know. This Dinosaur game roster feels leagues better than that of the Isle and Path of Titans, and would be much easier to implement and balance than either the bloated and unoriginal rosters that those games have. Don't worry, if you liked this video, this series is far from over. We still have core mechanics, AI, map design, and much more to design and go over. Stay tuned for those in the future. Thank you for being a part of the beginning of a brand new channel, which I hope to feature plenty of dinosaur game related content quite regularly. Anyways, I'll catch y'all later. Adios.